In this video, we want to cover the Dome tab within Track and Trade. You can see here that we have the Dome tab selected within the control panel. At the very top, we have our mini tick chart, which represents the last 200 trades. Notice across the top of the chart that we have the bid, the ask, and the last amounts listed. Along the bottom, we list the spread amount, along with its average, high and low. Next, we have the mini accounting window. This is where we can see at a glance all of our most pertinent accounting information. Notice that we have blue hyperlink symbols listed within the window as well, which can be clicked on for more information. For example, if we click the blue dollar sign next to Chart Open Profit and Loss, it rotates to display the percent return on margin. If we click it again, it rotates to display the number of ticks, and if we click it again, it rotates back, displaying the dollar amount once again. Each blue hyperlink provides additional information for each individual line item. One line item I want to highlight in more detail is the portfolio margin line. We default this line to the maintenance margin. This is what we call the look-ahead margin, since this is the margin amount that will be required if we hold our trade over one trading session to the next, such as from a day trade session into the nighttime session. Again, this amount will be what will be required to be in your account once we switch to a new trading session. The next line is the usable margin amount. This line is defaulted to the day session margin, which is generally the lower amount and the amount you enter or exit trades with during the current trading session only. When you click the blue text, it will switch over and show you the maintenance margin, and click it again, it will show you the initial usable margin. The row titled Cash Balance includes the current amount of liquid cash you have in your account. It also represents any closed profits or losses you may have accumulated. The next row, listed just below cash balance, is the equity margin ratio. This is a percentage which is calculated by taking your total account equity and dividing it by the initial margin of each open contract, and then multiplying it by 100 to get a percentage. This row is a measure of how much of your account equity is being utilized for open trades. A higher percentage means you are using less of your account equity, and a lower percentage means you are using more of your account equity for all open positions. Now let's talk just for a minute about margin warnings and margin calls. This is a screen capture of what it looks like if your account were to go on margin call. This means, of course, that the only trading you are allowed to do is to close current open positions in an effort to reduce your active margin requirement. On the other hand, if you prefer not to close any outstanding positions to correct the margin requirement, you are also able to wire additional funds to your trading account to remove the margin call lock. Here's another margin warning. This low margin notice is what you would see if your equity margin ratio drops below 8%. This liquidation warning is what you would see if your equity margin ratio drops below 6.5%. letting you know that you are coming close to the 5%, which is where the clearing firm may step in and start closing out all or some of your open positions due to the excessive risk currently in your account. This liquidate now notice is what you will see if your equity margin ratio drops below 5%. This notice is letting you know that you should quickly close some of your open positions, because the clearing firm will soon be stepping in to close some of your positions for you due to your overly excessive account risk. The last row in our mini accounting window represents your total account equity, including any open profits or losses you may currently have. This low margin notice is what you would see if your account equity drops below $900. Notice the liquidation warning. This is what you would see if your account equity drops below $750. Letting you know that you're getting close to the $500 level, which is where the clearing firm may step in and start closing out all or some of your open positions, again, due to insufficient funds currently in your account. The liquidate now notice is what you would see if your account equity drops below the clearing firm's lowest threshold of $500. This warning lets you know that if you don't close your positions, the clearing firm certainly will, due to the insufficient amount of funds in your account. This is an additional notice you may see. Notice that you have both a low margin warning for your account equity ratio, as well as a liquidation warning due to low account equity. In this situation, always take action based on the highest priority notice, which in this case would be the liquidation warning. Now, moving on, take a look at the very bottom of the mini accounting window. You'll see that we display, for your convenience, the number of long and short contracts per chart, as well as total long and short positions account-wide. Also notice that we include the individual profit and loss amounts per tick, as well as the day margin amount in static form, also just below the mini chart window. This is simply for your quick reference, and more of these types of contract details can be found over on the Key tab as well. Next, you'll see where you enter the quantity for the number of contracts you would like to place with each new order. You can increment the quantity up or down with the spinner arrows here, or you can just click a quick quantity button here. Notice that the default starts with 1 and increments up to quantity 20. These buttons are user definable by simply right-clicking and changing the amounts. The green and red BS button, or Buy Sell button, will open an order placement box that allows you to customize your order in a number of different ways. We cover these features in greater detail in order placement videos. This next set of buttons are used for quickly dragging and dropping the different types of orders listed onto the chart, and also for quickly exiting all of the orders on either the chart or all of the orders in your entire book. The next section is the actual DOM itself, which stands for depth of market. The bullish or buy side of the market defaults to green, and the bearish or sell side of the market defaults to red. By right-clicking on the header, you can reverse the colors if you so choose. In this same right-click menu, you also have the ability to collapse the empty bid and ask price fields, as well as removing the volume column. If you click the green tile above the current market price, Track and Trade will place a buy stop order at the specified price. If you click a green tile below the current market price, Track and Trade will place a buy limit order at the specified price. This is repeated on the bearish side of the DOM as well, only in reverse. Click the red tile above the current strike price to place a sell limit order, and below the current strike price to place a sell stop order. Also note that as you click the DOM to enter the market, a corresponding order line and type will appear on the chart at your specified price level. The last thing I want to show you is that by sliding this window up, we reveal Track and Trade's full-size detailed accounting window. Over here, on the left side, is where you find the buttons that give you access to your pending orders, open orders, and closed orders. This has been just a quick overview of how to use the Track and Trade Live DOM tab.